Big, the size of 3 men. Claws as long as my forearm. Torn apart. The Deathclaw refers to genetically engineered creatures created by the US military to replace humans in close combat search and destroy missions. They escaped into the wild after the Great War, spreading across the former United States and becoming apex predators in many post-war ecosystems. Deathclaws are large, carnivorous bipedal reptiles designed for maximum lethality. The choice to make them bipedal was natural, as it raises the head, providing a greater field of vision and thus improving the ability to detect targets or resources. This decision also freed the upper limbs, which could be fashioned into extremely dangerous weapons. Although Deathclaws are not as fast as quadrupedal animals, this is largely an academic concern. However, they have been observed running on all fours when charging prey. The rippling musculature of Deathclaws provides them with superior strength, excellent speed, and incredible resilience in most combat situations. Deathclaws communicate with each other in packs using growls and body language, and they are also capable of mimicking human voices like a parrot if their intelligence is artificially increased. Their strength is further enhanced by their claws. Due to their lineage, Deathclaws have opposable thumbs, along with an additional 2 fingers coded into their genome, for a total of 5 fingers on each hand. Each finger ends in a sharp talon, allowing the reptile to wound and kill with frightening efficiency. A single swipe is capable of bisecting an unarmoured human in seconds. Deathclaw hide is extremely tough, providing excellent defense against blunt and edged weapons. Firearms and energy weapons are effective tools for killing a Deathclaw, although lower powered variants may struggle to pierce its skin. Their defense is further enhanced by horns and dorsal spikes, making melee combat a very dangerous proposition. While Deathclaws are difficult opponents, their keen senses can be used against them. Loud noises and bright light, such as that emitted by flares, can deter a Deathclaw's advance or even keep it at bay. Deathclaws are pack animals, with the leadership role assumed by the alpha pair, the strongest male and female Deathclaws in the group. The remainder of the pack follows these leaders and migrates with them. Coupled with their pack behaviour is a fierce territorial instinct. Deathclaws typically choose territories away from inhabited areas, most likely due to noise, but they may settle into temporarily abandoned human buildings and areas, as was the case with the Boneyard warehouses around 2161 or Quarry Junction in 2281. Once a pack claims a territory, it is exceedingly difficult to dislodge, as the alpha male will not abandon the claimed territory even if the pack mother is killed, while the alpha female will simply choose another mate to continue procreating. Reclaiming a Deathclaw territory usually requires either killing both pack leaders, causing the pack to scatter, or wiping out the entire pack. Neither option is particularly easy. Deathclaws are made even more dangerous by their reproductive instincts. Unlike Jackson's chameleons, Deathclaws are an oviparous species. Female Deathclaws lay eggs in clusters, sired by the strongest male Deathclaws in the pack, typically the alpha male. The survival of the pack is ingrained in Deathclaws, and the pack leaders will instinctively select only the strongest partners for procreation. If the pack mother is killed, another female will typically replace her in short order. Deathclaw eggs are large, weighing up to 12 pounds or 5.5 kilograms, durable and resilient with a remarkably long shelf life. Deathclaws seek out dark, sheltered areas to set up their nests. Lone Deathclaws will also claim territories and create nests, usually in secluded areas. If a female has been impregnated by a male Deathclaw, she will prepare a separate nest for her young, protecting the hardy eggs with small objects such as rocks, fallen leaves, twigs, and bones left over from their meals. A juvenile Deathclaw is born without prominent horns or dorsal spikes, which grow as it matures, acting as secondary sex characteristics. Horns grow forwards on males, with larger horns being more desirable, and grow back and upwards on females. Dorsal spikes grow similarly to horns on males, with larger spikes being more desirable. On females, dorsal spikes do not grow as large and tend to be short in comparison. Claws, however, are present from birth. Baby deathclaws are born with light brown skin, which darkens as they mature, reaching deep brown upon entering adulthood and eventually dark brown, black, or even black and blue for older experienced deathclaws. While deathclaws do not actively seek out human habitats to attack, human expansion inevitably leads to encounters between the two species, usually by accident. Deathclaws are incredibly dangerous to humans, no matter how well prepared they are. Even Brotherhood of Steel patrols are known to suffer severe casualties if they unknowingly enter a deathclaw's territory. The Enclave sought to exploit deathclaws' fierce instincts and ferocity, using them as cheap expendable troops for hostile environments. Initial experiments, starting in 2235, focused on using a modified FEV strain to artificially increase the intelligence of deathclaws, successfully creating a single pack of modified intelligent deathclaws led by Gruthar. These deathclaws were intended to be just intelligent enough to follow orders issued by their handlers, but they developed far higher intelligence than the project had anticipated. After the first unit was fielded, Dr. Schreiber's experimentation revealed this fact, leading to the extermination of the intelligent deathclaws at Fall 13. Subsequent efforts, once the Enclave regrouped at Raven Rock, focused on cruder but more reliable methods, domestication units. These devices were surgically implanted into a captive deathclaw's brain and skull, allowing Enclave troops to issue commands to the fierce reptiles as if they were pets. However, even without human interference, deathclaws continued to pose a significant threat in the Wastelands. Despite the efforts of hunter teams, they persist in setting up nests throughout the area. The ferocity and incredible resilience of deathclaws have earned them respect and fear among Wastelanders. Initially, the existence of deathclaws was treated with skepticism in the first century after the war, with many considering them mythical creatures akin to ghosts and demons. However, the steady increase in deathclaw populations eventually secured them a place in common consciousness. When used for comparisons, deathclaws are synonymous with ferocity and resilience. Originally engineered before the Great War by the US government as an inexpensive replacement for human soldiers during combat operations, deathclaws were derived from a combination of animal species, primarily Jackson's chameleon. Although the project succeeded in creating a fierce predator capable of surviving independently in the wild, there are no records of them being deployed in combat. After the Great War, deathclaws escaped into the wild and rapidly spread across the continent. The Enclave had no role in creating deathclaws as far as the Appalachian Enclave's research division knows, but they note similarities in genetic manipulation to their own projects. Eventually, the Master refined these creatures further through genetic manipulation and the forced evolutionary virus. Initially reported only in isolated nests, the deathclaws were seen as legendary creatures by Southern California inhabitants. However, the boneyard population was aware of their existence, as a lone den mother and her offspring claimed the area between Downey and Norwalk around 2161, keeping the gunrunners in check and terrorizing other communities. Also, a single deathclaw was found living near the outskirts of the Hub. As deathclaws gradually spread throughout the wasteland, awareness of their existence increased, and they eventually became known as a deadly predator. As noted earlier, the Enclave continued their pre-war research project, developing intelligent deathclaws for use in hostile environments around 2235. On May 17, 2242, the first successful pack was released into Vault 13 to conceal the presence of the Enclave and their abduction of the dwellers within. Following their initial combat test, these deathclaws broke free from their Enclave masters, becoming far more intelligent than anticipated. They began developing a unique culture, marking the first known non-humanoid sentient beings in history. However, their intelligence was discovered by Dr. Schreiber of Navarro, whose report led to the extermination of intelligent deathclaws. Subsequent experiments involved the aforementioned domestication units, although by the end of the 23rd century. Thanks for sticking around to the end, and I hope you enjoyed this video on Fallout's lore. Shout out to my subs, and if you'd like to help the channel grow, you can click the join button or sign up to my Patreon.